Hello, hosts and travelers. Welcome to the podcast Hosting Your Home. Each week, around the world, millions of guests stay in other people's homes using the Airbnb platform. Debbie Herder looks for stories that come from these connections. Listen in as we hear stories that teach us the human side of hosting your home.
Hi everybody, welcome back to Hosting Your Home. This is Debbie. We're so happy to have you here today, and today we're going to mix things up a little bit. Generally, we have an interview, and honestly, I'm really interested in other people's stories, and I find them much more interesting than my own, of course. But I want to tell you my story, or a little bit about my story today. What I really want to do is tell you about the conference that we're having called Host2Host in April. That's April 22nd in Portland, Oregon. And it's really my story, so I am delighted to be able to tell you a little bit about how this started. So you might remember that the very first Airbnb Open was in San Francisco in the year 2014. We live in Portland, which is probably about a 12-hour drive from Portland to San Francisco, and Rob decided to go with me since he has family there, and he thought that he would go visit his family while I went to the conference. So we found a little Airbnb in San Francisco, and I booked it, and we drove down there, and as we're going, I'm thinking, I'd really like to be able to connect with some of the Portland hosts that will be there. I didn't know any at that point. We had only started renting just a month or two prior to that. So I hadn't connected with any local hosts. I hadn't connected with anyone at the Airbnb headquarters either. And I was feeling kind of, I don't know, sort of lonely, I guess you might say. I really wanted to talk with other people who were doing what we were doing. And so I went online to find out if I could find some people in the Portland area that were going to be in San Francisco. And I found a number of them, and we tried to exchange phone numbers and email addresses, and the Airbnb platform scrubbed out that information so we couldn't connect. I found that so frustrating. It was really difficult, and as a result, I think I met one person in San Francisco that was from Portland. And the direct result of that is that I got so frustrated that that's when I started the meetup.com group so that we could connect outside of the Airbnb platform. And the name of that group is HomeShare PDX. It exists to this day. Our first meeting was 5 of us, including the 2 of us. So there were only 3 other hosts there. And we just have recently passed our 250 membership mark. So I'm actually really proud of that. Those members are all vetted hosts. They're all active hosts within the Portland area. Now, the other thing that happened at that time as we were driving down there, I was thinking that the Portland community has about 1,500 Airbnb hosts, and I recognize from my experience in interacting with Matt Landau's group, the Vacation Rental Marketing Group, that people who do this have a lot of expertise and a lot of information that they can share with each other. It's experiential, and it really works to help to not make the same mistakes that another person might have made. And I was really, really ready and willing to share what I know and hear from other people what they know. And so we're driving down to San Francisco, and I'm really hoping that this is the kind of conversation and interaction that will be present at the first Airbnb Open. And I was thinking, we should be doing this in Portland. We have so many people who know what they're doing. We could do this very easily in Portland. And I never let go of that thought. It turned out that the Airbnb Open in San Francisco was a festival. It was fun. It was informative. I did meet people from all over the world. It was free, which was, also very cool. And I got a lot out of it, but I didn't go home with tangible things that I could do in my own business to better my own hosting practices. So, like I said, I never let go of that thought. And in the following months and years, I connected with various customer service people, and I would kind of pitch my idea to them after we'd done whatever work we were doing together. And always got a response of, well, that's not my area, but I'll pass it up and we'll see what can come of it. And then I got to know gradually, probably because of the meetup groups and because Airbnb started reaching out to the local community, I started getting to know some of the people in headquarters here in Portland, and pitched my idea to Dave Matthews, who was a coordinator at that time. And Dave and I sat down, and I had this long list of topics and things that I wanted to cover in this potential meeting. And he looked at it and he said, I'm going down to San Francisco next week. Why don't I take this with me and I'll see what I can find out. So he did that and came back, and he and another lady at Airbnb and I talked about how we might be able to go ahead with this conference and actually put it on. Airbnb was interested in helping to support this. The problem came when they wanted it to be before the LA Open, and I just couldn't get ready fast enough for them. It was a big project. And then shortly after that, Dave left the Airbnb. He left his job at Airbnb, and it all just sort of fell apart. So a couple months later, I was thinking about this and thinking, should I just leave this thought? Should I abandon this thought and just get on with my business? And at that point in time, I started sort of looking at the community around me. And at this time, I had done a number of podcast interviews with some people and found that, to no surprise, that we had some really fantastic hosts here in this area that have a lot of skill and from all kinds of different backgrounds. And so I asked selectively a person here and a person there and a person somewhere else, what do you think of this idea? Do you think we could have a conference here in Portland that could be a host-to-host conference? I would love to see our host community get together and share with each other. It would be a really great bonding exercise, and I don't have that kind of experience. I just didn't know if it could actually fly. So in August of last year, that would be 2016, we had a meeting. I asked some people if they would be willing to meet with me and just talk about what this might mean. And there were 14 of us that met in the living room of someone's home. And before we were halfway through, my friends, they are now my very good friends, started not only talking about how this could work, but also about the one after that. So hooray, hooray, here we are. We're now 13. A couple of people dropped out. Actually, 3 people dropped out. We expanded a little bit, and then we shrank a little bit. And so 13 of us are now very busily engaged in contributing our various skills and expertise to creating this host-to-host conference that will be happening on April 22nd, 2017 at the Oregon College of Oriental Medicine. And it happens to be right next door to Airbnb headquarters. And Airbnb is supporting us in that they've agreed to offer a keynote speaker, and we will have a tour for hosts. We're wrapping up the day after our breakout sessions at Airbnb headquarters for tours, and then they're hosting a happy hour after that. So we're really excited. We've got a potential for 150 Airbnb hosts, and not just Airbnb hosts. This is actually for people who use other platforms. We're calling it Host2Host Conference because we are not a part of Airbnb. We all use the Airbnb platform and we're fans of Airbnb, but many of us use other platforms as well and didn't want to eliminate or exclude the potential of those people joining us too. And in addition, we have created host2host.org to support the conference in the very real possibility that this will become an annual event. We're really hoping so. So today is March 9, and on March 15, our early bird pricing ends. It's right now $60 per person to attend, and afterwards it will be, after March 15, it will be $75, and then I believe it's something like $99 at the door if you're a walk-up. So we have vendors who are purchasing tables and offering gifts for raffle prizes, and here's another little thing we decided to do. We're also offering the possibility for hosts who have secondary businesses to bring some information about their business to share. We've got a place upstairs and kind of out of the way in a conversational area where we can go visit to see what other people are doing with their time. If they have a cleaning business or if they have a photography business. In my case, it'll be the podcast. There are people who sell jewelry, and so it doesn't even have to be related to their hosting practices. So we'll see how that goes. That's actually going to be a freebie, so it will be interesting. So if you are in Portland, or if you intend to be in Portland, or if you are a Portland host, a Coast host, a Bend host, a Seattle host, if you host in Ashland or Springfield or Eugene, please consider coming. We would love to have you. I think this is just going to be a fabulous event, and I am so tickled to see my dream come true. I am so grateful for these 12 people who are offering all of this time and expertise. We're completely volunteer. We will make no money on this. Any profits that we do make will be saved for next year's down payment for our venue. And it's just amazing to see how this is coming together. Really, really great people to work with. I appreciate it. And I look forward to meeting all of you who attend our conference. It's going to be a fabulous day. So I hope you enjoyed my monologue. I promise not to do this very much, but I just wanted you to know about our conference and potentially the next podcast. I have to be careful what I promise here in case it doesn't come to pass, but I will be interviewing all of our vendors too. So we will be having at least one podcast, maybe part 1 and part 2, where we'll do some interviews with each one of our vendors and let you know what it is they're doing and how they're supporting our community. Take care. Thank you so much for listening. You know, you can find us, because you already did, either on our Facebook Hosting Your Home page or our website at hostingyourhome.com. We're on iTunes and Stitcher and all of those places that you can download your podcast from. Leave me a message. Give me comments. Tell me anything you want. I'd love to hear from you. Take care. Bye-bye.